we haven't really closed the next deal yet.
Okay.
So that was talking about going through our discovery process to see what's needed for the next round. So the Zoom that I sent out to the Gigaphoton crew was about us coming back together to just say, here's what we heard. Does this sound like what you guys heard? Let's talk about it, whatever. So, all right, we have multiple, yes, multi-snapshot, my dude. All right, let's see it.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take snapshot for 3 projects: Universal Seas, Cascade Mist, and Dark Horse.
All right, are you taking a snapshot for August? For like the in month 8/20/20 in the upper right? Is that what it's doing?
Yeah, when we take the snapshot, we will take the latest latest data.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask, does this affect it?
Yeah. No, let's take a look the snapshot in detail, for this project.
Okay. Oh, it does all three as separate? Okay, cool.
So you can see that we have the last snapshot here.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to pick the time a month at the 8th August 2020, we can take a look and see the time, time billing and time spent and amount. For 3 project, we have the last one.
Yeah.
If you want to see the August of the 2020, we can.
That's great. I just was curious because that filter on that page will just affect that page. So I just want to make sure it wasn't affecting the snapshot, which is great. So that's
yeah, this time this time brand this month is for the cancellation from the beginning to this yeah, so it's the effect to our snapshot. Right, so do you have any question for this task?
No, I think that's good. So the next step for making this work, so you know how CCI has organized their JIRA, right? It's like the team is the project and not the client, but for new accounts, the client is the project.
Yeah.
So this is awesome, but what they're kind of expecting to do is to then they'd have multiple clients in here for the across their teams, and then they try and reconcile the budget against multiple projects. So unless they, oh yeah, did you work on the diagram of how the budget tracker?
Yeah, I have a diagram here.
It's the okay, great.
So let me talk a little bit about this.
Okay.
So as you see that at the very first step, we make an API call to Jira to get the new account projects and component and their issue. So we push on project to the project table of budget tracker database. After we push the project, we push we push component and we push Jira issue belong to component. After we have project component issue, we can create the invoice. After we have the invoice, we will calculate the profitability profit. So I'll come back to the TCI story. If you can show me an example of project TCI, then I will try to organize to mapping the TCI project to new account project from budget tracker. But can you you get my idea about each workflow.
Yeah, I do. And what I'm also looking for is so mapping like the front end fields that we see in the budget tracker to data that's coming from Jira. So like our low estimate, for example, showing that relationship between what fields show up on the front end and where we're pulling that information, I guess, on the back end. Because what I'm trying to do, like I said, is as I'm trying to show the CCI project people where the data is going to come from, so that if they don't have the data in Jira in that place, then the budget tracker is not going to work. So if they either need to change it or put it in that place so that it gives them the right answer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
So this is perfect high level, but I was hoping for another layer down, I guess.
so there's going to be someone need to push the CCI project to Jira first, I think. Right?
Oh no, I'm not worried about for CCI yet. I'm just saying I'm trying to figure out if you can diagram the way that new accounts works. Just show us, the fields, even the entry points that we're dealing with on the budget tracker, if it applies to Jira at all, where that kind of relationship is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, actually, we do have the relationship of project, component, and issue. I will send to you after meeting. But I'm thinking for the CCI project. So can you show me an example of a CCI project?
Say again?
Can you show me the example of CCI project?
Yeah. All right, so if you go to like, let's do like the project SNO in Jira.
SNO.
Yeah. Yeah, just go to Jira and then just go to projects and then view all projects.
This one.
Yeah, so just go to that project. So like on the left-hand side, yeah. They're not even using a Scrum board. They're using a Kanban board. So they don't even have the same type of structure that we have. So if you look at it, that was fine. If you look at an individual, like see how it says, there's nothing showing up on estimates. There's nothing showing up on like they're not using the component. They're not using the epic. They're not using, anything. Yeah. So it's just not set up the same way. So if we tried to put this project into the budget tracker, it's just going to give them nothing information, right? It's not going to tell them anything.
Yeah, that's right.
But they do have their issues all tied to those epics, I guess, or maybe these are all epics. That's why it's not working. But anyway, I guess that furthers my point, which is
how can we lock time for this kind of project?
right? So how it's just not going to work. So, you know, if they don't have all of these items tied to a single component, our budget tracker is going to show up as empty. So I need to show them, all right, if you don't have a component, it's going to break. Or if you don't have the right epic with the right initiative underneath it and the right task underneath it, it's going to break. So I'm trying to diagram what currently exists so we can show, all right, in the budget tracker, when we say, like, can you go back to the budget tracker? You know, so like there's a couple of places where this would be immediate. So go to the main clients tab, right? Like technically this is projects in Jira. So I want to say what we call clients in the budget tracker means project in Jira, and just, you know, show that relationship. So if they then go into so if you go into one of the clients and then you look at the component in the upper left hand corner, it's actually the component. But without, like, if that relationship doesn't exist, then all the information underneath it is going to break. So I want to just try and diagram that. I know what I'm asking for is kind of weird, but I can't explain it well enough for them to really get it. So I'm trying to make a visual for it. So
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
Cool. And then what I was sort of getting towards is the multiple snapshot, the next phase that we'd have to probably get into. And if they listen to the diagram and they really understand it, then what they would end up doing is making one project for CCI, and then they'd handle, you know, all of the sort of different teams and whatnot differently inside it. But if they don't do that, then they're going to want to ask for snapshots across multiple projects and across multiple components, but they want to see it rolled up as one. So the way you had it where it opens up the 3 separate snapshots, that's going to work great for new accounts purposes, right? Like I can ask the billing people, all right, it's the end of the month, go run all the snapshots at once. That's perfect. But then for CCI to actually adopt it, they're going to want to see that as one snapshot, as a combined, I ran these together and it's combined together for billing, so they can make one invoice off of it. So that would be the next thing to start thinking about, is how would you build that if it's possible. I mean, you can tell me it's not possible if that's the truth. But that, you know, that'd be where they'd go next.
So I am thinking, you know, if we synchronize for this kind of project, I mean SSO, if we want to push it into the budget tracker, we should make sure we're mapping manual for initiative and epic and the task for this kind of project into budget tracker.
Right, but I mean, CCI is massive, right? There's thousands of tickets and hundreds of employees, so anything manual is probably is not going to work unless they just go through a complete reorganization, which is kind of what I'm telling them. Is budget tracker is not going to work for you unless you do that. But I can't prove to them why, so I'm asking for a diagram so I can say, here's what will break if you don't do these things, you know. So
okay, get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But like I said, the multi thing for us, that's brilliant. That's an awesome addition.
All right. Okay. So after meeting, I will update to you the new organization workflow for the Epic initiative, and the start or should start that we should follow in to make it work with budget tracker.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. I also, you know, for the last request, you want to comparing the forecasted time with a span hour for project. So I have take a look in somewhere, and I think that we can make it work with kind of burn down chart. Let me show you my ideas. So I'm thinking, you know, we have, you can see the red line here is the estimated time, the forecasted time, and the green is actual span hour that we use in the sprint or day or whatever you want. So this one is the time we spend on, and this one 80 days or sprint is up to your configuration. So I'm thinking we can follow this kind of chart to comparing the forecasted time, spend our.
Yeah. So this is great, except what I mean when I say forecasted time isn't the estimate.
Yep.
So
You can see that when in the forecast in the Jira, I see that we have estimate time in this one. You see we have the estimate time in log time.
yeah. So that's like the estimate versus the actual. And I still mean those numbers when I say the estimate or I say the actual log time. When I'm talking about forecasted time though, that's a third data point that we would put in manually only into the budget tracker that then would compare that forecasted number against the estimate and against the log time. So that forecasted number is me looking further ahead than I know I have work for and saying, I think the business, or at least my team, should have this many hours for this project based on conversations that haven't really yielded an estimate yet. So I'm trying to, as a product person, I'm trying to say, okay, my team is going to have, 4 months worth of work that we have to groom out to get the actual estimates on. We'll put those estimates on the issues in Jira, and then we can see how close we got to that. So this is more of a project level guess before the estimates are even actualized. So, and I want to be able to tie back to, okay, well, John, as the product person, said in January that he expected, we'd have 400 hours in February, but then by the time the end of February came around, we had 600. Okay, great. We did more work. But what if that was, well, we only had 200? Well, did we have developers that didn't have any work to do? And where did we go wrong? So that's it's like another layer, I guess, of comparison. So that's why I was wondering where you thought this might, chime in for the budget tracker. Because for me, from a product perspective, it kind of lives maybe as like as a new tab on our project layer. So we'd have like a forecasted time by month, but then, I kind of want to tie that to sprints, which is different dates than the way the budget tracker works, right? The sprints can go over the beginning or the end of the month. So that's why I was kind of asking you what did you think to kind of tie that in? So I can also ask the UX team if they want to think this through.
Yeah.
Like that idea.
Yeah. If you can ask the US team can help us a bit on this idea.
Yeah. So I think your graph is right on, except it would be 3 lines instead of just 2. It'd have the forecasted, the estimate, and the actual. So keep that in the back of your brain. I'll go chat with the UX team, and then I'll come back to you with, all right, here's where we want to go.
All right. So do you want me to send you this kind of chart, and US team have some basic idea to make it right chart?
I'm just going to take a screenshot.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. So that's good. We'll just kind of pause on that, and I'll get an actual mock-up, and we'll get you guys to execute on that.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So for next step, I will send to you my update workflow.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess anything you need to update into the team, John?
No, I think that's it. That's great. This is hopefully going to make my life a lot easier. So this is good.
All right. So I will push the multiple project snapshot to production.
Okay.
Did you take a look at the graph feature and production?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Well, to be honest, I only did it on one project. I was like, yeah, it looks good. And then I moved on. So I haven't really tested it, but I looked at it and it seemed fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks. See you. Bye-bye.